I'm Naomi Wynters, and you're listening to Drag Dish.
Hashtag feel your beat, boo. It just changed the game. I see that runway there. You better make room. Are you coming here for what? When I come get it, it's my runway. It's my runway. Do you get the seated? No, that's your runway. That's your runway.
Yes! I don't know. I've been working on this song with B. Ames. Quick shout out. And we've spent so much time investing in it, and I'm absolutely loving it. I can't wait to present the full-length single to you all and the music video. Your girl has been working on some things. I may not have been in every bar and all that, but I have been working on things that I'm really passionate about. Actually, let me take a step back because we are going to be talking about music today, and we're going to get you all in the know of me. Yes. Okay. So, if you don't already know me, I am Naomi Wynters. I grew up in Pensacola, Florida. I was born in Andalusia, Alabama. I've bounced all over Florida. I've been afforded the opportunity to travel and perform outside of the state of Florida at an early point in my drag career. I have had ups and downs on stage, off stage. I have not had a dime to my name. I've had everything. I have battled with depression. I have battled with acceptance. I have battled, with self-love. And I like to say that so far that I've overcome. I'm an overcomer. I have managed to maintain a professional stance through most of this, but don't get it twisted because I have no problem crossing the street. I know where I'm from. And I'm just thankful that when I go out and I do some of these things, even though I'm hard on myself already, that I see how many people appreciate me, especially the story time when I do that. The amount of kids that come out to story time and feel like they have a place that they belong or somebody that can look up somebody that they can look up to, And I'm not aiming to be a role model. My only goal is to be the most and best authentic self that I can be. Don't get me wrong, I thoroughly love kids and enjoy kids. I'm a huge kid myself. However, I don't deal with somebody's baby's badass kids because I will either check them or check you. And secondly, I don't agree with parents pushing their kids to be one way or another. So what? Your son's not as masculine as the other ones. You love him just as much as he is present. So what? Your daughter is more of a tomboy. You love her just as much. Don't try to push your kids to be in either of those aspects. And I just have my share of experiences through life and being through that and fighting to be who I am and fighting to chase my dreams and to share them. And in that aspect, being able to look back on the journalism and my love for journalism and for the most part, my love of meeting new people and meeting people and learning their stories and sharing them is great. And we're actually going to kick that off, and I'm going to bring on in just a moment my very first guest that I met while living in Pensacola, Florida at the ripe age of, I was probably about 19, 20, somewhere in there early. But someone that I've admired that's done YouTube series, music, and just is an all-around great person. Y'all, we're going to do an interview with the one and only Miss Alissah Brooks, currently residing in Atlanta. Yes, queen. I'm so excited to have you here. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hey, hey.
How are you?
Good. Just walking to go check that motherfucker's mail. How are you?
I am good. Girl, it's cold as shit outside, is it not?
It's 30 degrees. I'm just walking down the street.
Just a brisk walk.
Yeah, just wearing 30 coats. No biggie.
Okay. So, First things first, I'm gonna do a little spiel. I already did a little bit before. As I told you a little bit, I am working with thehomoculture.com, and they basically have given me this platform to speak to other artists, entertainers, activists, whoever I want to, and to do profile pieces on that. I basically wrote up a list. You were easily and quickly the first name on my list. So first of all, on my behalf, thank you for like literally being the first stepping stone in this journey that I'm embarking on.
Yeah, thank you for including me.
You're very welcome. Secondly, when I say first, like I mean first. So I'm like rigging it up to try to figure this out right now for a podcast because you know how we
Okay.
do. So I may have to go back in for some parts and like raise the volume around you a little bit, but it is what it is. So first of all, you are Alissah Brooks,
Yeah.
trans activist, entertainer, singer, actress.
Fashion designer.
Okay, DJ, editor, everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, no, just ask me anything, whatever you feel like asking me. I mean, if it's whatever, then I'll just say, I don't want to answer that or whatever.
okay. Um, so do you? Let's. So tell me a little bit. Let's about growing up. In Pensacola. Growing up in the Panama City area, because obviously, who 18-year-old me knew is not it's not the same person that I know currently. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's been tough. That area was always very a little close-minded, but we kind of all stayed in our own lane and made it work. But I feel like I was very grateful to have been in that area for such a long time. I spent 8 years in that area, and it just became one of those things where I called it home. So that I've spent so much time there. Despite all the negativity that was going on, I felt like it was still my home.
Right. And actually, speaking of that, I know. Um, at the time when some of the negativity was happening, you were doing a YouTube series. Let's just date a little bit back, and that was called The Heels.
Mhm.
Um, which I'm a little bit mad about that we kind of lost access to everything because it would be something amazing to be going on right now, and for people to be
Yeah.
seeing that footage. Um,
Well, I still have a lot of the content, and I do believe that there will be a reboot eventually.
okay. Touching in that, okay, that's good. That's good to know and hear as far as queer friendly content
Mhm.
that's going on. All right, so I know that you're in Atlanta now, and since you've been in Atlanta, and you've bounced around through West Virginia to L.A. and Hollywood, you have done actually a couple things. I've seen you do more with Kat Graham. If we want to touch base
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Well, we pretty much are just like best friends, and when we do stuff, it's not like we're working. We're almost just hanging out, because it's pretty much the only time that she can hang out is when she has somebody come with her. So I don't really see it as going to events and being a celebrity in that aspect. I just see it as hanging out with my friend.
Okay. No, I can totally relate. I understand. All right. And another thing that I've noticed since you've been in Atlanta, you've released a lot of music. Um,
Yeah.
I, so yeah, tell us a little bit about that. I know I've received this single, "Dope Shit" featuring Jay Tyler.
Mhm.
And I actually checked again before calling you, and actually I didn't even know that you had what three three tracks total, and then you're featured on another track.
Yeah, one track I did on my own independently, and the other two tracks, they were with the same producer that did Dope Shit, Ryan Snow from Big Snow Entertainment. Um, yeah, he produced those tracks, and it just became one of those things where I wanted to make music just because I wanted to have something that I loved to listen to. I don't really make music because I want to win a Grammy or because I want to be a famous superstar. I make music because it's what I want to hear. Ultimately, and I feel like right now there's such a big void in the trans community when it comes to music. And I'm just, trying to fill that void and whatever I can to do, if I can inspire one or two people, then it was all worth it.
Okay. Uh, and actually, speaking of that, formerly before you released solo music, if I'm not mistaken, I could be jumbling up my facts. You were a part of a all girl or all trans girl group.
Yes.
Do you want to touch base on that experience, or
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, it was a great experience, and I feel like that experience gave me the confidence to want to do music on my own because that was the first time I ever, decided to just jump into making music. I had some experience with recording music in the past, but not officially and not on a professional level. Um, so being in that girl group, it just gave me the confidence. Unfortunately, we had um, you know, a bunch of miscommunication, and as most girl groups do, um, we had a lot of egos, and I feel like at the time we were just young and we didn't really know what we were doing, and we had to go through that in order for us to be where we are now today. And I feel like all the girls are doing their own thing and being successful in their own ways. And yeah, it was an overall good, bad, ugly, all of it. It was one of those experiences that you had to go through in order to be where you're at now.
okay. Having and actually saying that, having experienced what you have to push you to where you are now, knowing that what you've come out of, if you were given the opportunity to be in a new girl group, would you go into that?
Oh, absolutely. I think with the right chemistry and the right mindset and the right setting, I think that it could be something amazing and much needed. But unfortunately, right now, I'm not really sure what's going on with the Secret Girls. I'm not sure if they're actually pursuing anything. Um, but I feel like a girl group is needed. Whether I'm a part of it or not, I feel like it's crucial to the community to keep having variations of entertainment.
Okay. How do you feel about and in variations? Ada Vox has recently, speaking of pop culture, just to slide over a little, on American Idol. How do you feel as far as a representation of queer culture? Do you think that was something that you feel more is let me say appropriative talent that's underrepresented on a local level, or
What do you mean? Is this like a person or a group?
yeah, so American Idol, I guess in this past season, Ada Vox is a live singing drag queen from Texas that they've had on, who over her journey on American Idol has had good and bad backlash in a sense.
Yeah.
Basically, this is poor representation of drag. Some people saying it's poor, because she's singing live, and
Yeah, I mean, I like entertainment is entertainment, and I don't know this person.
okay,
I don't know. I didn't know that this situation was going on in American Idol. I had no clue. I live under a rock. I don't really watch TV and stuff, so I feel like if it was a bad or a good experience, that's up to the person that was doing it. If she had a bunch of backlash from people not agreeing with what she was doing, I think that the best thing that she should do is turn off the media and start just living her life or whatever she wants to do. I don't think that drag has any rule book or handbooks on what should and shouldn't be done, but at the same time, I feel like, you have to be aware of what you're jumping into before you do it. And I know a lot of people aren't as knowledgeable of the entertainment industry and how things are edited and work, but it would be very, very, important for someone in the future to do their homework before they jump into something so that they know exactly what they're getting into.
Okay. That's good, solid advice for anybody literally pursuing it. I guess anything,
Yeah, just if you want to be an actor, go be an extra in a movie and literally sit there for the 12 hours that you're there and see how you like it, because that's ultimately what you're supposed to do, Get a little taste of the action, but it gives you experience. I think with experience comes professionalism in the end.
All right. All right. Preach to the children, sister.
Yeah.
Right. Um, any is there I guess is there anything that like else that you want to say, like basically I'm going to take some of what we've covered and kind of do a write up based in that. Is there anything else, like as far as the podcast audio, that you want to say additionally to put out there, or any additional information?
You mean like about just being trans in general, or do you mean about like anything that I might have coming up that I'd want to promote?
All of it. All of it. This is literally this is a platform for you.
Well, I guess I would just like to say that, anyone that feels inspired to do anything, I think the best thing to do is just to do it. Um, I don't really like when people ask for advice because I feel like you already know what you want to do, and I feel like you know in your heart what you should do. I feel like an advice is just a second opinion for either them to agree with what you're doing or to not agree with what you're doing, and then it makes you question, should I really be doing this or should I not be doing this, or should I wear this or not? But I feel like ultimately you should have in your head what you want to do pre-planned. Um, aside from that, I just want every trans person to know that anything is possible. If you want to be a writer, an actor, a singer, a dancer, fashion designer, whatever you want to do, just do it, but be visible. Because right now the biggest problem is that a lot of people are hiding, and a lot of people would much rather not be in the forefront. Unfortunately, we live in a time where all transgender people need to be in the front, need to be visible, need to be present. Even if you get discriminated against, you're still being visible. You're still being seen. I think that that's the only way that we're going to succeed is by continuing to be visible and continuing to let people know that we're here and we're not really going anywhere.
Speaking of visibility, how would you say is the best way for somebody that is either newly transitioning or maybe set in their ways? How would you say is a more comforting or easier way maybe for them to get out there and be visible, um, and while being safe, you know?
Yeah, I guess the only thing that I can really say on that is to, once again, educate yourself. Make sure that you are transitioning for the right reasons. Make sure that, you are understanding of all the procedures and the things that you need for your specific look. I want any trans person to really figure out the person they want to be before they transition, because what happens a lot of times is that people transition and they just don't really know who they really are in the beginning. It's kind of like being reborn again. Once you transition, it's like I just came out of the womb, and you got to figure out your fashion sense, because not everything that you're going to wear in the beginning is going to be where you're going to end up as the woman or the man that you ultimately need to be. So I think that that's also something that people should think about is, what kind of person do I want to be? What kind of image do I want to portray? Do I want to go as far as get breast augmentations? Do I just want to take hormones? Do I want to have sex reassignment surgery? Do I want to have facial feminization? I mean, it's a bunch of stuff that you have to consider. It's not easy. It's not cheap. But also, it's something that needs to be done in order for you to be happy. And it just knowledge. Anyone looking to transition, just do some homework. Get a friend. Find you a person that you want to resemble or be like, and be their friend and learn from them. But I just feel like people need to not rush into things and give yourself a timeline. If by this time I'm not transitioning, then I just probably shouldn't do it. But you should give yourself some time to really figure out, is this something that I want to do, and is this the right thing for me to do?
Okay. I mean, like, I personally, having been around so many people that have transitioned, I have to say I couldn't agree anymore. I have noticed a large trend in the younger community, and it's like I'm transitioning, like not even a second thought of it. And I remember, not too long ago there was a bad, you know, um, I guess overhaul what isn't probably the right word, but there were a lot of queens rushing into transitioning, and there was bad silicone, or.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of factors play into all that stuff that people rush into something, and unfortunately, a lot of, the majority of them transition for the wrong reasons. Some of them just really want the attention, and they just feel very insecure the way they already look. So then they get in drag, and then they feel like, I look fierce, I was sickening, and I feel more comfortable being this person, so they decide they want to transition to feel that happiness. But it's more than that. I always think to myself, if you did not feel like you should have been a woman when you were at least 3 years old, then I just don't think that it's a genuine thing to do when you're older if you're just doing it based on you getting a drag and you just want to decide you want to transition. I feel like that's something that you have in you when you're born, the urge to transition without even knowing that you need to transition. I feel like that's something that's instilled in you. It's not something that you have to decide later on. It's something that you were born with, and you know immediately there's something wrong. So I think that's a big red flag too when people say I just want to transition just because I want to,
Okay.
without having that feeling of when I was younger I felt different.
Yeah. No. 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 I agree. Actually, funny. I was having this conversation yesterday in the dentist office at my cleaning. Um, she was actually asking me. She started the whole conversation. Do you feel that people are born gay? And I was like, well, yeah. I was like gay or transgendered slash misgendered. I completely agree. And I could already see her formulating to say why. And the simplest thing that I could say from being the nerd that I am is, if we take a step back and we look at nature, look at everything that's supposed to be naturally occurring and naturally balanced. Um, you can literally see representation of transgenderedness, and homosexuality in multiple other species, and it's just natural to them. There's no second thought about it. But we come to humans, the quote unquote rational ones, and we're quick to dismiss anyone that we love or may know because of a difference of opinion on a simple what we've already deduced as a natural matter. I just feel like it's crazy. you know, because
Yeah.
we have one side of this isn't right, and then on the other side we have people just jumping in and beginning the transition without any education or knowledge or I guess a belief other than they feel that it's a trend, which being transgendered, I feel, or gay, or homosexual, LGBTQ plus. I don't know where we are now in this world, but any of that, you know, it's a hard lifestyle that I feel like a lot of people underestimate because they see us at our fabulous brunches and our rhinestones and our glitter and either done up on stage or beautifully transitioned and going about our lives. But I feel like a lot of people forget the the history along the
Yeah.
way, everything that allowed us to get to these points and to these freedoms.
Yeah.
I can remember going back to being 18 and walking outside of the club in walking out of Emerald City Memorial Weekend, or even just a Monday night hip hop night, and there are protesters out there just for no apparent reason. It's like
Yeah.
2 in the morning,
Yeah.
like,
It's crazy. It's like, do you not have anything else to do? But it's a very tough lifestyle, and I think that it's very important for you to be very educated on what you're getting into, because it could result, it's a life and death situation. And in most cases, if you aren't as knowledgeable and you just go about and, step in the wrong scenario, it could be very threatening to that person. So it's just all about educating yourself and, what is what is your purpose for doing that.
oh, okay. Well, um, is there anything that you're working on now before we get too lost on that? Because I do want to touch base on that. Is there anything you're working
Yeah.
on? Projects that you can hint at that maybe you can't mention? All of that. We want to know all the tea here.
Well, right now I just released my third single a couple months ago, called Bounce It. It's available on iTunes if you want to go catch it.
Okay.
I've been working on my album for almost 2 years now. It's been taking me a long time. One, because I have to write everything. Two, it's fucking expensive. And it's just gonna take some time. But I am working on an album for everyone who is interested in my music. Another big piece of news. I'm not sure if it's been released now, and I'm not sure when this interview is gonna come out, but I think it'll be fun. I'm gonna be the main performer for the Trans Erotica Awards in Los Angeles. So that's gonna be exciting, and that'll be in March.
Congrats. That's hot. Congrats on that. All right. All right.
And
Anything else?
I just did a couple segments with the talk show Girls Like Us, hosted by you know four beautiful trans women, educating the community on topics about trans issues and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. Cute. We'll be looking forward to that interview. I'm excited to see what's coming up on this album because, and actually, let me even bounce that before I even say this. Like, that was one of my questions if you have an album in the works. And then, knowingly, on a side note, I'll just throw this in this little podcast material. I already, before any of this that I'm doing now has happened, like when I say I've known Alissah like for a while, like a while. I have been working on a song for over a year. So
Mm-hmm.
when you tell me about writing, trust me, I'm like I don't know how
Yeah,
they
it's
do it.
different for everyone. It's such a different process. Sometimes I'll come up with a catchphrase first, and sometimes I'll come up with, I'll have to find a beat first. So it just depends on your mood and what you really want to portray, what kind of story you want to tell.
That I'm definitely learning. I'm excited. I'm excited to know and hear about more about the album. So hopefully, closer to that time, I can have you definitely back again to talk about
Yeah.
that. I do still want to touch base on some music. Let me finish tidying up this first single, and I for sure still want to work with you on a single. I kind of have a couple ideas. I haven't touched base with you yet, but I will. We will be in touch.
Yeah, let me know anything. It'll be fun.
Yeah, like, and you're just a hop and a skip away. So that's
Yeah.
like, girl. Um, let's see. I literally wrote out a million questions, and I'm so happy that I didn't have to completely freak out and rely on these questions for literally the past 30 minutes, and that this was literally like fluid and easy.
Yeah.
um, like literally, thank you so much. I know I already asked you. I'm gonna ask again because it's just me. I'm gonna do this article. I know we touched things that you're working on. Do you want to do a shout out for social media anywhere for people that can follow you? I know we say they can find your music on iTunes.
Yeah, you can find me on all music platforms, Alissah Brooks, and then all my social media handles are at Alissah Brooks, ALISSAH, and my website, www.alissahbrooks.com.
All right. Thank you so much, love.
Thank
I'm
you.
Naomi Winters, and that's been today's episode of Drag Dish. Remember to hashtag Feel Your Beat Boo and follow me at NaomiWinters.com. See you next time.
Do you feel defeated? Now that's your right, that's your right.